guys, and welcome to Kids Craft Zone. I'm Emily, and as always, I'm going to show you some fun craft projects that you can do with stuff you have around the house. It's that easy, and it's also super duper fun.
You've got Emily mail.
I think I have some mail, so I better check my mailbox because I think someone may have messaged me. Hi Emily, I'd love to learn to make puppets. Can you show me how? From Lisa. Well Lisa, today is your lucky day because I'm going to show you how to make your very own hand puppet using things you have around the house. And because your name starts with the letter L, today we're going to make lion puppets! But before we do that, should we take a brief look at the history of puppets? So, a puppet is a figure who's controlled by movement by someone else. Today we're going to be making hand puppets, so we're going to be using our hands. Puppets are an ancient art form invented around 3,000 years ago in India. These puppets were very beloved and sacred to many cultures who used them in traditional ceremonies and dances. Puppets are used in storytelling to help make the story more entertaining. So now it's time for the fun part. Let's get started and make our very own puppets. Today we'll be making some lion hand puppets. So we're going to need a few materials. We're going to need a puppet glove. You can get these from all good craft shops, or if you have some old socks lying around, you can always use those. Just remember though, always ask mum and dad or whichever adult's around before you use them because otherwise they may be without a sock, which won't be good at all. We're also going to need some felt. Just make sure you choose whichever materials are going to suit the animal that you're making. Because we're making a lion, we're going to be using brown felt to make the tail, to make the nose. We're going to be using some red felt to do the inside of the mouth for the lion. And we're going to be using some fake fur to make the big, scary mane. You need two pieces because the mane goes all around the lion's face. We're also going to need some pipe cleaners to make the lion's whiskers, and we'll cut this up later and I'll show you how to do that. And last but not least, we're going to need some yellow felt to make some cute little ears so the lion can hear. And we're going to need some eyes. I'm going to be using googly eyes because they make the puppet look a bit more fun and not like a big scary lion. And to hold it all together, we're going to need some glue. So, let's get started. Remember always to put something down before you start making the lion because you don't want the glue to stick to anything, and always ask an adult before. So we'll gather all our materials out, and it's easier to cut out the shapes of what you're going to be using before you actually make the puppet. It just makes it a bit easier and a bit faster. So we'll start with the mane because that's always the hardest part to dry. So having a look at your puppet, you want to make sure you do the mane above where the eyes are going to be and below the mouth. So we'll get the glue and we'll just do a line about 2/3 of the way down the puppet, and we'll stick that down, and then we'll turn it around, and on the same line, so the manes match, we're going to be doing another line of glue to stick some more fur down. And this material is really good because it's really furry and it can stand up later on and make it look really scary and fun. Then we're going to put the red felt in the mouth. So just open up the puppet and get your red piece of felt, and we're just going to glue the bottom half of the mouth, so there's a bit of red in the mouth, so it looks a bit more realistic because the inside of our mouths aren't white like this material, they're red. And now for the really fun part, we're going to close that and let it dry, and we're going to make the face. Now the face is the fun part because this is what gives your puppet a bit of personality. So we're going to start with the brown felt for the nose. Make sure it goes sort of at the bottom of the puppet, but in the middle, because that's where your nose is. Well, it's not really, it's in the middle of the face, but if your face is folded over, it would be at the bottom. So we're going to stick the brown felt there, stick it on, and then we're going to put some white felt next to it. I forgot the white felt, I'm a bit silly, this does happen sometimes when you're doing art. We're going to get the white felt, and we're going to stick that either side of the nose. There we go. And then the whiskers will go over the white felt. So then after that, we get to put the eyes on. Now, if you don't have googly eyes or you can't find googly eyes, you can always get a bit of white felt and cut it out into a circle and then use a felt tip marker just to dry the pupils on. So you can just do little black dots to draw them on. So we're just going to put the eyes in the middle of the face and just above the nose. So just have a look at, where your eyes are in relation to your nose. And then we're going to make the whiskers. Now the whiskers are probably the hardest part because you're going to need some scissors, so make sure an adult is looking after you when you're using the scissors so you don't hurt yourself. And we're going to need 3 whiskers on each side, so that's 6 whiskers. So we're going to start by having 1 pipe cleaner. We're going to fold it in half so the whiskers are even, and we'll cut it in half. There we go. And then this one you can roughly make sure that each piece is the same size. So you can fold it into thirds if you want like that, and then just cut it at each joint. So we've got 1, and then 2 and 3, and then you can do it on the other side as well. So fold it into thirds, and then we'll cut 1 whisker, and then 2 and 3. So we have 3 whiskers for each side, and then we're going to stick the whiskers on either side of the nose. So it's just easy to do a big dollop of glue on each side. And this glue is a bit sticky. I've already got lots of fur on my hands, so make sure you be careful so you don't touch anything and get it everywhere. And then we'll stick 3 whiskers on each side. There we go. That's looking nice. And then to finish it off, we're going to be using some ears because we want our lion to be able to hear, because otherwise how's it going to hunt? Because they need to hear their prey before they hunt. So we'll stick that just above the eyes. There we go, 2 ears because it hasn't been in a lion fight yet. And then we're going to stick the tail on. So the tail just goes at the bottom of the puppet, just right there, so then it'll hang off your hand. There we go. And there we have it. Everything is glued on our puppet. But because the glue is wet, we will need it to dry. And to do this, I find it easier to sit the puppet on something like this olive oil spray cylinder. So we'll just, being careful, we'll do it like this. Make sure the glue doesn't stick to anything. And it does make it easier because you don't want to leave a gluey puppet lying around on the tablecloth. I hope you got that, lying around. Use that one on Mum and Dad, they'll love it. Okay, there we go. So, while we're waiting for that to dry, should we learn about lions? I think we should. So lions are the 2nd largest cat species in the world behind tigers. The roar of a lion can be heard from 8 kilometres away. Lionesses, which are the female lions, are actually better hunters than males and do most of the hunting for the pride, so girl power. Lions in the wild live for around 12 years and often rest for up to 20 hours a day. I don't know about you, but that seems like a pretty good life to me, resting for about 20 hours a day, and I think I could do that. And maybe that's what I'll go and do because unfortunately, guys, that's all I have time for today. I hope you enjoyed making puppets, and please send me any pictures of puppets that you make, and also send in requests of what you want to make in Emily Mail for my next shows. The addresses are at the bottom of the screen, and remember to always ask Mum or Dad before you send them in. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!